Hey there, Brian Fitzgerald here with O'Rourke Hospitality Marketing. I want to talk today about Metasearch Bid Strategies. There's a lot of considerations here, and so let's walk through some of them. So we're going to focus on Google's bidding strategies. There are 5 here that we're going to look at. The thing to keep in mind is all of the other channels, TripAdvisor, Trivago, have some similar set of bidding strategies. They don't all have these same 5, but in talking about these 5, we'll be covering all of the other considerations for TripAdvisor, Trivago, and others. So the first bidding strategy, this is as you go in and you get your campaign going, how much are you willing to pay for the click or for the booking? Really, what is your budget and how much are you willing to spend? And so the first thing, first option is what's called a manual cost per click or manual CPC. This is very traditional. This should sound familiar. There's a lot of other digital marketing channels that are based on this cost per click model. This means that you're willing to pay a fixed amount when somebody clicks your ad. The next option is what's called a cost per click percentage. This is where your bid is based off of the price per room. And so let's just say if the price is $100 and your bid is 1.5%, you're willing to pay $1.50. This is a little bit more complicated because it's as we can all imagine, the rates fluctuate. So you might have weekday rates where they're much lower, but on the weekends they're much higher. And so using that percentage could escalate your costs quite considerably depending on when the searcher is looking and booking for. So that's not to say this is a bad strategy. It's just that there's a little bit more calculation and revenue management assessment that would go into it for sure. The third is what's called an enhanced cost per click. This is very similar to the 2 above. The difference here is that this allows Google to make some automated adjustments on your behalf. As we all know, Google is very advanced, lots of advanced algorithms and softwares. And so under this, they're using different signals that they might be getting. Let's say, for example, that they see that this is the 3rd or 4th time that this particular user has come back and done this same search for hotels in your market. Well, they might be able to then say, well, this person's much more likely to convert than somebody who's just coming here for the first time. Let's use that data and that signal to increase your bid slightly. It makes a lot of sense in theory. This is not something that we're typically in support of or in favor of. We don't like to give Google that control. We for our clients would much rather prefer we go in every day and manually control things, but it's certainly something for you to consider. The fourth is what's called a per conversion commission. And so this is where you're paying a fixed percentage every time somebody makes a booking. This can generate a very high visibility. It can make sure that your ads are showing a much higher percentage of the time. The downside here is twofold. One is you have to do that calculation again to figure out what's the right percentage. The other consideration is that this is on gross bookings. This does not account for cancellations. And so again, that's another factor into the commission that you might be willing to bid or might be willing to pay. In those same lines, slightly different is a per stay commission. So this removes that cancellation component. This is when you don't actually pay Google until the stay actualizes. This is probably more appetizing. It's more of a true cost per acquisition approach where you're only paying for actualized bookings. So some of our clients do like this approach. Again, there's a lot of calculation and assessment to go into this to figure out what is that right percentage that you should be spending. So again, these are the 5 Google bidding strategies. The other Metasearch sites have some combination of these. The other piece of advice that we would just leave you with is that depending on your hotel, your hotel size, the market, the comp set. There isn't a blanket answer as far as which one of these works best. Like a lot of other digital marketing channels, sometimes we just have to test things and see what makes the most sense and see what performs the best. So if you're having some challenges or having any questions with how to get your bidding strategies going for Metasearch, certainly get in touch with us today. We'd love to help you out.